So, you clicked on this video, huh? Cool, let me give you a rundown. To start off, I don't play fighting games religiously. I like them how anybody else would like them. I enjoy playing them, but in the grand scheme of things, I'm just a casual. I'll play anything, I'll never stick to one game. Instead, I'll try any fighting game under the sun as long as it looks cool with badass characters. And after playing a few of them, I noticed a few issues that the developers should change or could add. And a few of them are pretty simple. To start off, a better training mode. For the most part, practice modes in a lot of new fighting games are now better than ever, and you could learn so much from today's training modes, but there are a few things that could be changed or added. For example, Tekken 7 has a really good training mode when combined with this DLC. It's pretty amazing. The game shows you the frame data, when to punish, when to go offensive or stay defensive, and that's really cool. And then there's more stuff like hitbox viewing, set reversal on dummy, and my favorite addition to Tekken 7 is punishment training. It helps more than I first realized, and it's super cool. I think all fighting games should have these types of features by now because they're very useful in learning the game. But if we put a Tekken 7 and have people pay for the features that should have been for free, or at least in the base game, then there's going to be an issue in the future, especially if Tekken 8 doesn't have those same features, even after adding them in this game. But something I found that could be very useful, just like punishment training, is I would have found more useful is to have buttons be shown to me. That probably doesn't make any sense, so let me explain. In a game like Mortal Kombat 11 or Guilty Gear Xrd, what I really like about them is that they show a controller module and a response to what buttons you're pressing, and when selecting, let's say, a sample combo in Mortal Kombat, you can follow along with it. I really like that, and I would hope more games use that as a means to show how to do full sample combos or more. And I would love for other fighting games to add that. It will make for a more engaging time in training. At least then I could spend more time not worrying about if I'm timing the combo properly or if I'm just messing it up. At least then I know what to press, when to press it, and then hopefully bring it to online when I remember what to do. Or even going back to Guilty Gear, this time Rev 2, I love how they have a FAQ built in, where instead of searching a question online and looking for a response, the game has that built in so you could read what you want to see right there and then, and that's something else that should be added. Although I can see how this one will be a bit tacky, so some games I can see really should have it, like the original Guilty Gear, but then other games like Mortal Kombat maybe not so much, but it depends. But I believe all fighting games should have it. I just think it's a really neat, simple, easy way to have it, to be honest. I know this is such a basic and dumb thing to ask for, but it would honestly mean a lot to me. I spend way too long trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong, and I'd rather just know what I'm doing wrong right there and then. Anyway, onto the second issue that could be changed or added. This one's a more of an add, to be honest. A more viable training mode. So, I know I just talked about a better training mode, but now there needs to be a better and more viable training mode. So let me get into it. In addition to that is make fighting games more viable with the training. There are too many fighting games that make their training mode obsolete and not want the casual person to try them. How many fighting games has the average casual actually gone out their way to try? I can't give you a percentage, but I can tell you for a fact, not a lot have. There are far few people that actually practice before they end up playing the game online or doing anything locally. And that's okay, but fighting games need to make them more enticing so that there's a reason other than just to learn or have it feel mandatory. I don't want to go into a fighting game or any game really where I have to learn in order to play the game, in order to understand the game. No game wants you to do that because it only makes the game experience worse. Although fighting games do exactly that. So, I was watching a live stream where Maximilian was talking about how fighting games, for some reason, think differently when it comes to training and how they don't treat it like normal games. And I was thinking about that, and he's right. In every game, you are set up with a control scheme, and every game has you understand the mechanics as long as you're going through it. Fighting games don't do this for some reason. In a game like Horizon Zero Dawn, I was still learning new mechanics 2 hours in, but that's okay. For some reason, a game like Guilty Gear Midnight Carnival, I had no idea of what anything was. I didn't know any of the mechanics, like what is dust, what is tension, there's a thing called guts. What does guts mean? I had to go online to learn these things. The game doesn't tell you, and it's like, what? Why are you not telling me these things? Why are you afraid to tell me the mechanics that could and have impacted my gameplay experience? And when they do tell you how to play the game, they never really go over the mechanics, instead opting for press A to punch, press B to kick. Okay, now you're all set. But they don't teach you basic setups or strings that could help casuals. I'm not saying to make it mandatory or force it down my throat, but just have it be there so that new players could come in and can do the sample combo they maybe saw online or somewhere. And it's especially worse because when there's a story, that's where you really want to put it in, but for some reason they don't put it in. They expect you to play fighting games before. They expect you to understand the mechanics of the game, but a casual person won't go training first. They will instead jump into the story, whereby they should then have a small setup explaining a bit of the mechanics and motion inputs. I don't understand fighting games in this sense. They for some reason act like they're a totally different game to other genre. It's so silly and such an easy fix, I don't understand them. It doesn't make any sense. On top of that, I should add to the point, they should make the training a little bit more enticing by giving a reward. In Mortal Kombat 11, if you do all the training, you are then awarded by having a character's voice pack. And even though it was a small reward, that really made a few people do it because they wanted that voice pack. And by doing that, they then learn and gain experience and knowledge from the training. And I think other games should do exactly that. They should follow in the same footsteps. You should give people, I don't know, a reward. A few points, like, oh, here's like 1,000 credits. Go spend it in the shop where you can buy like a skin or something. At least then people would go, oh shit, I can do like an Okuzeme into a DP, into an overhead, like, oh shit, that's so sick. I don't know any of those mean. I just said but yeah, basically, that's how you teach someone, right? And for my final point for today's video, we'll end it on something a little small, but something that's big to me. Third one, stop adding characters to story mode if they're not gonna be part of the roster. What the hell, man? This shit actually annoys me. I don't think I have to even explain this. This is just basic. Don't include characters in the story mode only for them not to show up in the main roster, especially when those characters are fan favorites, because to me it shows how out of touch you are or how money gouging you are. If there's a character that's part of the story, why aren't they part of the roster? The worst offenders are the ones where they're not just regulated to just cameos. Instead, you end up finding them. For me, this was Rain in Mortal Kombat X. You end up finding him, and he seems cool, but there was no mention of adding him as a character at all. But when modders managed to get the files, they placed him into the game. He has a moveset. So this got me excited, thinking he was going to be DLC. Like, yo, let's go, Rain! Hell yeah! And in the coming months, nothing. Rain was never going to be DLC, despite being part of the story with the model and a badass costume. Instead, we get a shit stain that is Bo' Rai Cho. And what I really don't understand is they had to build Bo' Rai Cho from the ground up. But whereas Rain, you had a costume, you had the model, you had the broken moveset. So I don't get it. I know the moveset isn't finished and is super basic, so why not build upon that foundation instead of just saying, yeah, your fan favorite character is in a story. Oh, you wanna play him? No. I don't get it. Why are so many new games nowadays, especially fighting games, doing this? I actually hate it. And really quick, what I don't get is how a character like Goro, who was a cameo, you don't even get to fight him. For 10 seconds, he was a cameo in the intro scene for Mortal Kombat X. He was an actual character that got made. Why was it Rain? Or the other countless characters in Mortal Kombat X. I find it stupid, but I suppose Goro's easier to make, even though Rain was right there. I don't get it. I think it's dumb. And there's so many other fighting games that are doing this now too. Hey, that cool character you liked in the story. Oh, you wanna play them? Ha 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 ha. No, I don't get it, man. I wish I did. In any case, what character did you want in a fighting game to join, but never ended up joining the roster, despite having a character model, a badass costume, a moveset, like Rain? Anyway, that's it really. Oh, and I know MK11 fans are gonna be like, oh, but Rain's in MK11. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, MK11, I don't like the combat. So, like, no. MK11 kind of sucks to me. He should be in MKX. I wish he was in MKX. In any case, take care and see ya.